Hi everybody, this is Sonia with Paper Pizzazz, and in my last video I made a couple notebooks with the Japanese stab binding, and today I am going to show you how I did that. You can use as many holes as you want, and I used some embroidery thread today. And first of all, gather your papers up. I have about 6 papers. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm using some offcuts. You want to measure and put your holes. I'm going to put 5 holes. So the middle one was about 2.75 because the width is about 5.5 inches. But anyway, you measure, you make your holes. You want to hook those together because you don't want those sliding around. I already had made my holes. And I am using about 5 times the height of the paper, so I have enough. And you'll see that I'm going in the center. I'm finding the center of my booklet. I'm going in. I'm leaving a tail about 2 or 3 inches because I'm going to need that later. So I go halfway in. And so what you're going to do, you're going to go around to the other side, go into the same hole, and you're going to wrap that spine right there on your first hole. And then I'm going to go to the end. I'm just going to weave the embroidery thread. I'm just going to weave it down. You want to pull this fairly tight. You want your thread fairly tight. Now I'm going to weave back to the other hole. And I'll show you what I do at the corner when I get to the end. I'm going to wrap it around the edge, the side edge, and then I'm going to go through the same hole. See, I have the side edge there. Now I'm going to go to the back and wrap the spine into the same hole there. Pull it tight, fairly snug. Then the next available hole is right there. I'm going to go across, pull it through, and then I'm going to pull it to the other side, you see, and go through the same hole. That wraps that spine. Okay. So now you're back to the center hole. I'm just going to go through there. And I'm going to go to the other end, and I'm just weaving. And go to the next hole. Then I'm going to wrap the edge like I did before. I'm going to turn it to the side and come back to the other side and go through the same hole. Trying not to get my thread tangled up. Okay, so I got the edge wrapped. So you see I'm going to wrap the spine. Now I have to wrap the spine, pull it to the other side, and go down that same hole on the end. Be careful not to split the threads because the embroidery thread has 6 strands, so be careful with that. Now I'm going through the next hole. Now I'm going to pull that back around towards me and go through that same hole and wrap the spine again. Now that brings us to the last hole, which is the middle hole where you started. You see it needs to go through that middle hole. I'm going to take my paper clips out because those are going to get in the way. I still have one that marks the center. So this is probably the hardest part, but it's not hard. But you're not going to go all the way through. You're going to go back with your needle to the middle where that tail is. and your needle will have a hard time getting through there, but cut it at an angle. You have to put your needle in there, and you will come out to the center and pull it through. Oh, I think I lost it. I got to rethread my needle. Okay. Now I'm going to go through there again. You don't go all the way through, you go halfway through. Kind of maneuver your needle so it goes through and meets the tail that you left in the beginning. There it is. Okay, got that. Pull that through, and that finishes the wrapping. So all you have to do now is cut your thread and then make a knot or a double knot, and then you can tie a bow. Or tied a bow, and that is the Japanese stab binding. I think it looks really nice. It looks really, really nice. There's the front, back. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you're inspired and learn.